What's going on, guys? It's Diyar, and today we're back here for another opposition preview, and I'm joined by the main man, Dave, from Talking Wolves, to look ahead to Palace's FA Cup tie. Yes, we're finally not talking about the Premier League, we're talking about a cup competition. That's why I'm excited. And, before we start the video, make sure to hit the like button and also subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. Dave, look, I'm excited because we're not talking about the Premier League, and maybe you should be as well, because I didn't realize in terms of results, that it's been that bad since we last played each other, since October. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you've only won 2 games.
Yeah,
and I thought Palace were bad. You only won 2 games, and you're coming off a 3-3 draw against Brighton after being 3-1 up. So, what is the struggle? Why can't you guys go out there and win games?
it's been strange since we last met. Really, I think a couple of weeks after we played you, we tried out a back 4 formation for the first time, and it excited a lot of fans. And it started off quite well, to be fair. But we've had injuries ever since. Really, obviously Jimenez had the bad knock. We've had Dendoncker out, Willy Bolly injured as well. Daniel Bedence has recently got injured, so injuries is not been great really for Wolves. But there's been fine margins in all these little games, and we could be so much better off in some of the games that we've played. Obviously, we've beaten Chelsea and Arsenal in that time, but we played it against Villa and gave away a last-minute penalty. Against Manchester United, we conceded a last-minute deflected goal as well. And our most recent game against Brighton, I can't blame that on a fine margin, really, because 3-1 up at half-time. Like you said, you saw the game, we were cruising. And for some reason, I don't know whether it was the instruction of Nuno, we just seemed to put our foot off the gas and just invited so much pressure from Brighton and went really negative. And that cost us 2 points, really. We should be, with the way we were in that game, we were smashing them, man. We could have scored. I even said it at half time, the way we're going, we could score 4 or 5 here. I don't know what happened. So just like you said, now we've got an identical record to Palace in terms of wins, draws and losses. And nice. Look, there's been some reports or, some members of the press saying that Wolves are sort of accepting this as almost a transition season with some of the young players that we've brought in. And I can accept that. But there are some other fans, quite a large amount of fans, that have seen us finish 7th for the last 2 seasons, seen us in Europe, and they don't understand what is going on. They can't take that we're not winning or getting positive results most weeks at the moment. So there's a lot of pressure on the team at the moment. So like you say, it's good to talk about the FA Cup rather than the Premier League.
But it's not only Wolves fan. I just find it crazy that you guys are level on points with us, because we have been a right mess for a very long time. I know the last 2 games has been fine and we picked up points, but teams have been turning us over left, right, centre. But let's talk about Nuno there. So going into this game, is there pressure on him? Do you think from the board level, not with the fan base, but do you think there's going to be pressure building up on him because of the 2 games, of course, the 2 wins since October, and also getting knocked out of the FA Cup by Palace? The board might look at it negatively, or he's fine till the end of the season?
I think he's fine on a board level. Like you say, on the board level, he's absolutely fine. I think the board have accepted that this season, especially with the injuries, I think they've been a bit sympathetic with him, really. And with the players that we've signed, for argument's sake, Fabio Silva, yes, we spent a lot of money on him, but I don't think they were expecting him to chuck him in for the amount of games he's played already this season. I think that they were going to accept Jimenez as the number 1 striker and Fabio Silva just to get minutes here and there. So yeah, on a board level, I don't think they're too concerned at the moment. Obviously, if we get sucked into some sort of relegation battle, which would be disastrous, then maybe that will be considered. But they're never taken the cups too seriously, especially under Nuno. But as fans, you always want to see your team do well. No disrespect to Palace and us, to be fair. When you sort of where we are in the table, not a lot really going on. You're not pushing for Europe, but you should have enough to not get sucked into a relegation battle. The cups is where you want to see wins and cup runs and stuff, really. The last few years, we've never seen it under Nuno. We played quite a strong team in the Carabao Cup this year and lost against Stoke, which was quite embarrassing. But I don't know. I'd like to see us start a strong team and go for it a little bit, but we've got quite a busy schedule coming up in the next few weeks. So I can see Nuno rotating it, and I don't think it's an essential one. I think the most essential thing for the board is just to try and finish as high as we can in the league.
Yeah, that's interesting because I was going to ask you about that. How does Nuno tend to approach cup games since he's been at Wolves? Is he the type of manager to go out there and say, let's go and get this win, let's go and try push as much as we can? Or is he more of a league focused manager?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say definitely league focused. Before this season, we saw the first year he came in the Carabao Cup. Obviously, we were one of the best teams in the Championship at the time, and he rotated the team. Like we were seeing players from the under-23s that we'd never seen play for Wolves, and we went on a really good run. I think we'd beaten, off the top of my head, we beat Bristol Rovers, we beat Southampton, who were in the Premier League at the time, and we took Man City, a strong Man City side, all the way to penalties, and that was like a B team for Wolves, completely rotated. So although he was rotating it, the teams are quite strong. The FA Cup that year didn't go quite to plan. The year after, obviously, we got to the FA Cup semi-final, which again, with rotated teams, we had a generous cup run. But we beat Manchester United in the quarter-final. I think it depends on the opposition, really, but yeah, he's not one to take it too seriously, if I'm honest. But yeah,
So,
I'd like to see us go for it a little bit more.
yeah. So do you reckon that he'll give some youngsters opportunity? Any youngsters that Palace fans might not know of that we could potentially see in this game?
I'd say so. Possibly not a completely sort of inexperienced side. We've seen the last few weeks. I mean, you may have seen the game against Brighton. Our bench was ridiculously inexperienced. Players that had never played first team football for Wolves before, and that was mainly due to injuries, really. Could I see a few of them playing? Possibly not. Maybe one or two, but I can't say any more than that. I think you'll see the likes of John Ruddy play instead of Patricio. You'll see the likes of Owen Otasawi, who's come through recently, playing probably most of the game. I still think it'll be an okay Wolves team, but it'll be heavily rotated to what we'd probably see during a Premier League game, really. But yeah, it'll be intriguing to see how Wolves set up for this match, because as fans, I think we want to see Wolves go for it. But you've got to look, we've got West Brom coming up, which for us as Wolves fans, we've not played West Brom in a long time. Last time we played them, they beat us 5-1. So we're itching to set the record straight there. So there's that game at Everton as well. We've got a lot of big Premier League games coming up. So I'd assume Nuno will have one eye on those.
So last game that we played, our Nouri and Semedo absolutely destroyed us. Like it just hurt watching that Palace team struggle so much against both of them. So how have they been performing lately? Should we continue being worried about them? I saw our Nouri with the Brighton goal, the first one. That defending was. I'll be honest. I don't watch Wolves week in week out, but that defending was a bit pathetic. Like I expected him to do much better. He just gave him all the time in the world. So how are these players performing? Because that's the two players that I'm a bit worried about.
Yeah, for both of them, really. They have one good game and then one really bad game. They're like that, really. Obviously, like I said earlier, we've been sort of playing with a back four a little bit at times this season. We played that in the first half against Brighton, and we've played it in quite a few games since. Aït-Nouri's okay going forward, but defensively, I don't think you'd back him. Whereas when we had Marcel, he was much better defensively, which I think suits Wolves really, a more defensive wing back. Semedo again, he's one that likes to get forward, but again defensively, there's question marks over his performances. So I think with like the game against Palace, because you guys, I don't want to say sat back or defended, because you had attacks in that game as well, but you just see when we attacked, you just really seemed to struggle with those two. But I'd assume. Semedo, I don't think will play on Friday. I think he'll play Keanu Hoover, who is probably a little bit more defensive minded. But I'd expect Aït-Nouri to play on Friday, to be fair. That was his debut against you guys and he scored. He's not done a lot since, to be fair. So
no, yeah, it happens. It happens. You know, we were linked with him in the past, and then of course he goes and joins another club and has a performance.
Scores on his debut. Yeah.
It just happens. It is Palace. I don't know why players hate us, but yeah, they do. Interesting that you said that we, kind of sat back in the last game, because I thought after you guys scored a goal, you guys decided to sit back and we struggled like that. So in terms of tactics this game, is Nuno going to go and press us? Or are we going to see similar where you might go and score the first and second goal, and then you did sit back? I feel like you did sit back. We did have the ball, but we didn't create much. You were very solid defensively.
Yeah, I'd like to say we used to be solid defensively. This year, our defensive record is not great. In terms of, to be fair, in terms of goals conceded, it's not huge. But amount of clean sheets is almost non-existent this year, which is so unheard of for a Wolves side under Nuno. Yeah, in terms of sitting back, I mean, you even saw it in the Brighton game. Wolves can. It's a bit Mourinho mentality, really. We score one goal and we'll sit back and just defend the lead. We've always done it, and as fans, we hate it. We don't enjoy watching that at times. I think against Palace, both sides are probably, I don't know, maybe more counter-attacking, I'd say. Again, I don't watch Palace a huge amount, but I'd probably say, you know, on paper, we're both more counter-attacking. So I think on Friday, it's probably whoever gets first blood, really, is going to, you know, dictate how the game goes, really. Like Wolves, quite lucky against Palace, really. You guys scored that goal which was given offside, I think, for VAR. And then we went down the other end and scored. I think if you got that goal and it counted, it would have been a very different game. So, yeah, I think Friday it'll be interesting to see who sort of goes for it first in that game. I think whoever takes the advantage has got a big chance of going through to the next round.
I don't know why it's always Friday as well. I think this is the only time.
Last
time we played on a Friday. This time we're playing on a Friday night as well. And I'm pretty sure when Jordan Ayew scored that his first goal for Palace, where he started crying on the Wolves pitch, I think that was on like a Monday night. We always play on a night. It's midweek. It's just weird, but. Finally, let's have your lineup and score prediction. I guess lineup is going to be a bit difficult, and I put you, put you in the mess right here. I mean, let's see what lineup would you like to see?
I mean, I'd like to see a strong lineup, but if I had to predict what Nuno would go for, I'd say John Ruddy definitely in goal. Ait Nouri left back. What's his name? Keanu Hoover, right wing back. Centre backs, I'd probably say Cody, Depends if he goes with a back four. Let's say he's going for a back four. I'd say Cody and possibly Kilman, because Sace has played quite a lot recently. Neves on Otasawi in the middle. Fabio Silva up front. We've just recalled Morgan Gibbs-White actually from Swansea today, literally just before recording. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him starting, or at least be in the squad in some capacity. And probably Neto and Adama, because we haven't really got many attacking options other than those guys at the moment. Unless we get a surprise signing in the next day or so, I think that's probably going to be how the team's going to be.
Yeah, what about your score prediction? Do you think it's you guys to go out there and get the win?
It fully depends on the teams that both teams line up with. I think we've got enough to get the win, but with our recent form, you just don't know which Wolves team are going to turn up. I'll predict a low, boring game, 1-0 Wolves.
Yeah, that suits Palace. 1-0. Yeah, we won't probably score a goal, but I'm intrigued as a Palace fan just going into this game from our perspective as well, because it's going to be interesting who Roy puts out there. There's a couple youngsters that deserve a chance at Palace that we haven't seen before, the likes of Scott Banks. So if he plays them guys, then I don't mind us. It's crazy. I want us to go on a cup run, but if he plays them, then I'll be happy in a way that even if we lose, at least we saw these players in the first game, which we haven't seen. But look, Dave, it's always great chatting to you. We're probably going to chat once again. It's going to be the most opposition preview. So next game, I don't know when it is, but we're going to chat probably once again. And also make sure to check out their channel as well. Dave's channel, we're Talking Wolves. The link will be in the description down below. And let us know your score predictions. Who do you think is going to win this game? And as Palace fans or Wolves fans watching this, do you think it is important for both sides to go out there and go in a cup run? Because we both haven't got much to play for. So let us know, leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, up the Palace.